My soul family, happy Sunday to you. Hope you are taking care of yourself, practicing self-care, moving through your expansion with courage. Okay? As I was getting ready to prepare to do this download this morning, which was something different. I probably will do that download after this one, but this one is a little bit more urgent. Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, everything is a gift. Whether it is the gift of love or the gift of pain, okay? Everything is a gift. I had to let that sit with me. I'm being honest. So family, I had to let that sit with me. I had to meditate on that so that I could expand the revelation that Holy Spirit wanted me to get. And this is what I received. Anything you have experienced, because life is about experience, okay? It has a tendency to push you toward expansiveness. If you receive love, you tend to give out more love, and you extend yourself and expand yourself in the flow of love. If you receive pain, you tend to move toward healing and expand yourself in healing. A lot of times we're thinking we're doing that so that we won't be hurt again. But in actuality, you heal to expand beyond the wound that caused you to be hurt to begin with. Okay? Because if there is no wound there, no one can push it and cause you pain. Okay? If there is no trigger, all right, you can't be triggered. All right? And so everything is a gift. I remember when I've experienced extreme pain, whether it be a loss, whether it be, I remember when my grandmother passed. Of course, you don't forget the dates. March 13, 2018. It was around about 6 or 7 in the morning. And I was adamant about wanting to be there in her last moments. Well, my family and I kept my grandmother at home, and we did rotating shifts in her last month and a half of her life. Up until then, she was 95. Up until then, she was up and mobile and doing what she needed to do, but then she got sick. And so she was at that point bedbound. And so during that time, I was adamant. I have to be here. I have to be here. I have to be here. I affectionately gave my grandmother her nickname, Princess. Okay. And actually have an oil painting of her and myself hanging in my living room right now. And I was adamant about that. But the night that I was supposed to go, which would have been March the 12th, I switched with my cousin. Okay. And then I think my cousin switched with my mom. And so it ended up being my mother and there when she passed. And I was lying down in bed, and it was the first night, and it happened just like clockwork. It was the first night I'd actually slept through the night without waking up. My grandmother was very pivotal in my raising, and we were very close, close beyond close. And I always had a fear, what am I gonna do when my grandmother leaves? And when death was coming, I became fearful. I kept thinking to myself, what am I gonna do? when she leaves, you know. And I didn't, even though I said I wanted to be there, a part of me was afraid of facing it, even though I knew it was coming. And I wouldn't have seen that loss as a gift. It caused me quite a bit of pain. And even before it happened, I was already in pain. See, I was already, creating within myself the grief. Okay. And the night that she passed, like I said, it was the first night I slept all the way through the night. I slept all the way through the night into the morning. Okay. And around 5:30 in the morning, my phone rang and I missed the call. That's how asleep I was, and I'm usually up. At 6 o'clock, I woke up and I looked at my phone. I saw that my cousin and my mother, everybody was trying to call me, so I called. And they informed me that my grandmother had transitioned. And I got off the phone devastated. I was devastated. And at that point, it was like it sunk in that she's gone. And in that process, I felt, I cannot describe the devastation I felt. I cannot even describe it. And even after she passed, I visited her grave every single day. Every day after work, I would go. It was like a routine. I did it for 2 weeks. And on the last day of the last week, and it was cold at that point in North Carolina. The weather had already started changing. And I was sitting there crying my eyeballs out. Every day I went, I just cried uncontrollably. And I heard my grandmother speak to me. I did not even have a coat on. That's how oblivious I was to the cold. I was just grieving. And I heard my grandmother speak to me. She said, "Kelly, it is cold. You need to put on a coat and go home. I am not here." Clear-cut message. "Kelly, it is cold. Put on a coat and go home. I am not here." From that day forward, I saw my grandmother's death as a gift, because everything she taught me began to come back to me little by little. The grief blocked all of the wonderful times that we had. All I could see was death. All I could see was her leaving me. Despite the fact that we have this large family, she has about 8 kids and grandkids, I'm just thinking she just left me. I made it about me. And all of us were grieving, but it was very personal to me when she spoke to me and I could hear her voice. I felt like I could go on. That loss was a gift to me. It brought me a lot of pain, but it was a gift to me. And the gift I received was that I was then able to integrate everything that she shared with me. She's always with me. She hadn't left me. We are divine beings. The divine part of you doesn't die. Only the body leaves, okay? The body is set in time, not our divinity. And it helped me to expand, knowing that she's always with me. There are times when I've gone through a transition, through something in life, I can feel her presence. I can feel her presence. So everything is a gift, whether it be pain or whether it be the gift of love. Pain helps expand you into healing, that you may get a new perspective. Love helps you expand into more love, that you can move into forgiveness, compassion, and grace. Okay? There needs to be expansion in love for you to get there. Because many will say, "I love you," but they won't forgive. And they won't show you grace. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They won't give you compassion. They will sit in judgment of you, but they will say, "I love you." Well, they're not expanded in love. And that is not unconditional love. That is conditional love. Okay? And this isn't a judgment for those of you that are struggling in that area. It's just an observation that it's time for some expansion in love. So family, I want you to have a happy Sunday, and I'll see you on the next download. Toodles.